boat. Don't tip the boat over. Rock the boat.
In this episode, we give you a warts and all look at passage making, showing you what it's like to be at sea for 5 days as we sail from Australia to Indonesia with a sailing rally. And just like an ocean swell, there certainly are some highs and lows.
Goodbye, Australia. We're leaving Thursday Island, sailing with 2 French boats on our way to Indonesia. It's been a pretty crazy morning. Good wind for sailing.
Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine in my mind. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine in my mind. Sweet days of summer, the jasmine's in.
But this big container ship was just called us up on the radio and basically said get out of the way. So this is day 1. We've been 639 miles to go. A very intelligent iPad is telling us that we'll be there in 4 days and 13 hours at this speed.
Just covered our first 24 hours, 148 nautical miles. Our passage planning and our prediction was 140 mile a day. So we've got 8 mile in the bank.
I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that have me blind. It's gonna be a bright sunshine day. It's gonna be a bright sunshine day. I think I can make it now. The pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright sunshine day.
So we're going off course a bit here because we're reaching. I'm thinking we'll probably reach out here for maybe most of the day, and then we might pole out and go back after this cape, and then we may be able to reach all night tonight. We're about 40 miles off the coast of Irian Jaya. We had a good night last night. We reached all night. Both got a reasonable amount of sleep, 3-hour watches.
Hi! Here's your breakfast, Gary.
Yum!
Oh, I haven't put milk on yet.
Oh, I better have milk, eh? This is a little bit of what life's like on a 5-day passage. Don't always get bacon and eggs, but we are this morning. Got Anna working in the galley. Cooking there. Through the night we're hot bunking here. One's sleeping, one's on watch. We'll at least have a nap each during the day there as well to try and keep fresh. Nav station, iPad as secondary, or it's actually now our first navigation instrument. Got laptop there with OpenCPN, which we're not even using at the moment, don't need it. Logbook with our entries. Every watch we enter, or every 3 hours, 3-hour watches. Got our Iridium there, we'll talk about that one later. AIS, probably the most important instrument on the boat, except the local fishing boats aren't using it. VHF, of course.
It's about 4 p.m. on day 2. So we've been going 24 hours plus 3, 27 hours. It's pretty steady sailing, a bit of rock and roll, which you get a bit tired of, but cannot really complain. I was feeling a bit grotty and has been laying around all day catching up on sleep, so had a bit of a wash, put a frock on, said to Gary we're having a drink, we're getting clean, we're putting clean clothes on and we're having a drink, non-alcoholic, before sundown. So I thought that was a nice thing just to help us, I don't know, do something. Different being on a rally, we've got a boat just out here, Unwind, they're from the Netherlands, and Vanny is not far away.
Hopefully the end of an eventful night. Had a fishing boat right on our course, and Vanny ahead of us saw nets spread out everywhere, so had to make a major sail change and course change to get out of it, and it's cost us a fair bit of time. But anyway, you may be able to see him, see the lights of him over there. Their nets are lit. They had strobes on them or something, but I can't see any. But anyway, hopefully we're past him. On the morning of day 2, cloudy, pretty good night. A couple of issues have arisen. A drift net has been spotted 80 miles ahead of us, pretty much on our course. I don't know if it's the same drift net, but there's an English boat hooked in a net, the yacht. I don't know what they're going to do or what anyone can do for them. So we're really on watch of these drift nets now. Getting a bit of a passage treat here. We're getting bacon and eggs, chili sauce and a bit of pepper.
Things are going quite well. It's a little bit rocky rolly. Cooked some trout that Gary had caught, which was delish, and mashed potato. Eating a fair bit of fruit, no alcohol, so it's been quite a good detoxification. Yeah, it's important to grab sleep whenever you can, even during the day. Then the nights don't seem so hard, they're not so difficult. We're doing 3-hour watches, which works quite well for us. Probably getting on with your crew. So the skipper to be understanding of his crew, and the crew to sort of sympathise with the skipper if he's cranky due to a lack of sleep, and just still be supportive. And what's not important, okay, it doesn't matter what your hair looks like, it doesn't matter what your nails look like, who cares? It doesn't matter what shoes you're wearing, and it doesn't particularly matter what sort of clothes you're wearing. And that's great. That's a really nice break from, particularly as a woman, from the pressures of society, which is the brains behind the operation.
I don't know whether you can see with this camera out there, but there's just a city of lights out there. This is on the water there, all fishing boats with drift nets. There's no order, they're just drifting nets everywhere. It is an absolute navigational nightmare. I just can't believe that this could even go on in somewhere. You can see out in front of us, probably can't see it. There's a loom like we're coming up on some sort of bloody city, and it's all just boats. It's not a good start to this trip. This is really sucking.
Yeah, last night was horrific. Boats everywhere. We kind of got the system in the end, and got very little sleep. Guess they're all just trying to make a living. I'm not sure how we managed to go straight through the middle of the whole fleet. Whether we're better off to keep out at sea or something. Must be a better way. But anyway, one day to go.
Morning of day 4. Hell of a long night. Neither of us got much sleep. It was pretty much hands on deck all night. We're dodging these drift netters. I don't know how many times I put that pole up, poled out, pole down, pole to the other side. We just couldn't keep a course.
Yeah, luckily they are now all passing me on starboard and on port, actually back to their base, so, but not fishing. And I took a westerly course because I was sick and tired of that downwind sailing, so I'm now going more downwind deck sailing up.
Yeah, everyone's sick and tired of it.
Just happened to have to cross right in front of our bow. May we bring you all the luck in the world. Good luck with avoiding cruising yachties.
There the mongrels are. There's hundreds of them out here. Drift netting. They are all over the place, zigzagging all night. Neither of us has hardly had any sleep. Just dodging these things.
Yeah, we're just arriving in Debut after a very wet night. You can see the anchorage up there. Rally control mucked us around and we haven't got an exact point the anchorage, but what do you reckon?
I reckon those boats are probably close to where we're going. But
Yeah.
we've got to get in there.
That's the thing, the coral.
We're safely at anchor in Debut, but our thoughts are with the cruisers that are still out at sea. Many of the rally cruisers said that with the problems due to fishing boats and nets, the passage to Indonesia was one of their worst ever. The wind and sea states were fine, but having to navigate at night through hundreds of fishing boats dragging nets was a major headache. Some boats, through luck or good management, avoided the fishing boats, but most had 2 truly awful sleepless nights, dodging nets, and some said never again. One boat lost their rudder and limped towards port at 1.5 knots for an extra week, before other rally boats went out and towed them in. Another boat had major issues due to being caught in a net. In the process of freeing themselves, the skipper was in the water for half an hour. Another 2 boats were caught in nets at night and had to wait until daylight to get free. And most worryingly, another boat has just set off their emergency beacon, and we still don't know what's happened to them. We can only hope the 2 people on board will be all right. Join us for our next episode, where we take several days to clear customs and quarantine, get a taste of Indonesian hospitality, and Gary takes part in a rescue mission to tow a disabled boat to safety.